In a recent interview talking about the second season of the now canceled Hawkeye TV series, Jeremy Renner talks about some of the leaks that hit the net. And through this discussion, he confirms that many of the leaks that we heard are in fact true. So let's talk about what would have been a completely different season to pretty much anything Marvel has ever done. So in case you missed it, but chances are you haven't, but we're going to cover it. Just recently, Jeremy Renner debunked all the Season 2 reports, especially the ones that it was shooting this year, by providing an update on the second season and the series as a whole, stating that Marvel Studios offered to do Season 2, but when they came to the table to discuss it with him, they offered him half of his normal asking price, which is the same price he's done multiple projects for. So he said he turned it down, and that's why Season 2 isn't happening. Now, of course, we don't know how much money he was offered or anything like that. That's never been made public. There's rumors out there, but again, they're nothing that we can confirm, and I don't think anybody can. So once again, we just don't know. Chances are that what Marvel Studios was trying to do was cut back on budget in a pretty significant way, I would say. And one way that they wanted to do it was obviously cut his pay, and I'm assuming Hailee's pay as well as downsizing the series. Which brings us to, the latest updates from Jeremy Renner, where he talks about the rumors that were online and addresses them as they were fact. So let's get into what Season 2 would have been, and especially how it was meant to be only one location. So per reports that hit online, Season 2 was supposed to already downsize the budget by changing the size and scope of the series. The first season shot in New York. New York is expensive. They also shot during a time where it was closing in on Christmas and New Year's, which makes it even more expensive. So for Season 2, they were apparently going to only briefly show the outside world and focus on one singular location. Now, the outside world in this case would be New York and whatever else footage they had. I would assume maybe like this family home or something, but the majority of the series was going to be set in one location, which was rumored to be a giant prison/building where we would have Kate and Clint fighting from the bottom floor all the way to the top. Now, this would be in line with films like Dread and or The Raid. Now, one can see how this is easily a thing that brings the budget down. Obviously, you have one location, and if it's a highly modified tech building or tech prison or whatever, you can make a couple of corridors with modular rooms and use those over and over to cut down on costs. This is a technique that's frequent in science fiction and other, one location or two location shows, specifically sitcoms that have like 3 or 4 established places, and that's where they shoot, and the stage rotates, and they can quickly go from stage to stage and shoot quickly and rapidly, hence how they can produce so many episodes. So one location, in effect, makes everything cheaper, but also makes everything easier, a quicker turnaround, and also saves them a lot from having to shoot outside. But the second factor that's confirmed in this whole thing is the family. And I'm talking about his personal family. So Renner said that when it comes to acting and or how long he's going to be away with acting, and then looking at his daughter who he's trying to raise, he says, I have to be a father to my daughter first and foremost. And if they want to pay me less and I can't take that, and I'm going to be away for the same amount of time, well, I'm not being a good father, especially to my daughter. So wherever they're shooting and want to shoot, I'm not a part of it because of various reasons, including her. And since we're talking about family, let's jump on to the villain of the series, which would have been Clint's brother, Trickshaw. So much like in the comics, Clint has a brother who ends up becoming a character that's much like Clint. You know, he's doing his own thing. He ends up taking on the name Trickshot. And, well, depending on the story, you know, he's used either in a semi-good, semi-bad, or somewhere in the middle way. Whatever you will, his allegiances are a little all over the place. Either way, though, when this was brought up to Jeremy Renner, he said that some of that made it out there is true. And they figured out a bit of the story. And story-wise, the elements of a single location and using Trickshot are in fact things that they were working on. And he says that he wouldn't say no to doing any of that. But again, it's everything else that got in the way. And he says it's a fun world and would have been a fun idea to explore and go down in that direction. But again, unfortunately, that's just not something that they seem to be interested in. And the rumors suggested that Trickshot would be either captured and held hostage, and that's why Kate and Clint are doing this, but that the twist would have ultimately been that he's working with them, and this was like a test, and or they're putting Clint through this, trying to really break him and see what he's capable of. And honestly, we don't know the full extent of this and what parts of it are rumors, what parts could be fact, but I think the bigger picture here is that they got far along with the story and ideas that they had it locked in and offers were being made. And we even heard that they were looking for a A-list actor to play Trickshot because this wasn't going to be a one and done role. Apparently, they wanted somebody that was going to stay around for a while and appear in multiple projects. So it tells me that they were probably planning a much bigger size, scope, and scale for this series than most of us realize and most of the reports have indicated. And again, bigger impact on the MCU, but it sounds like smaller costs, which again would have been the ultimate goal for them. So yeah, there we go. That's effectively season 2 and everything that's been confirmed. And what else was interesting is that Hailee Steinfeld just briefly offered up an update on this, stating that much of Jeremy Renner's comments are true, and she hopes that one day they can do something that they were planning, but again, we just don't know. So maybe if they do a season 2, they could just put her as sort of like the hero and do that same story. Maybe she's rescuing Clint's brother and Clint's not available for whatever reason. They could find a reason to write him out, you know? I mean, they've done it before. So we'll see what happens. But overall, season 2 sounded pretty impressive. And there's still some rumors it's going to happen. It's just politics that are taking over. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.